Napoli have been one of the best teams in Europe this year, but they were foiled in the Champions League quarter-final by AC Milan, losing 2-1 on aggregate in a game of very high drama. And this second leg performance from Pioli's Milan was, in many ways, a defensive masterclass, restricting Napoli, a team who have scored 92 goals in all comps this season, to mainly half chances. So what the heck were Milan doing that was so effective, and why couldn't the powerhouses of Napoli find a way through? Well, that's exactly what you're about to find out. So as always, if you enjoy the video, consider leaving a like, and let's get into our analysis. Milan's defensive shape on the face of it was pretty standard, but it was the application that was so effective. So it was a 4-2-3-1 matching up with Napoli's 4-3-3 in midfield, and each of Milan's midfielders had a very specific man-marking job. Tonali on Ndombele, Krunic on Zielinski, and Benacer, or sometimes Giroud, on Lobotka. It was this job on Lobotka which was probably the most important because of how crucial he is to Napoli's build-up, and Milan put a really concerted effort into restricting his time on the ball. And if at any time Benacer was occupied, Giroud would put Lobotka under pressure instead. This flexibility between the two gave Milan the additional benefit of sometimes freeing up Benacer to become an extra man in midfield, to plug any spaces that happened to appear, and he played an important role covering the other two midfielders, which gave Milan a lot of intensity at the top of their defensive shape and prevented Napoli from ever having easy possession. Meanwhile, Tonali and Krunic worked very hard to track the other two midfielders pretty much wherever they went. A key facet of Napoli's game this season has been how fluid they are in midfield, breaking out of their zones to create numerical advantages elsewhere, and Tonali and Krunic were clearly prepared for that, willing to track their men pretty much wherever they went and not allowing them a moment's peace, which also meant Milan were very compact whenever Napoli tried to create those local advantages. To emphasise this man-marking strategy, I wanted to show you guys this passage of play where, despite a heavily rotating Napoli midfield, Tonali, Krunic and Benacer stuck to their men like glue. However, the job of these midfielders was not as simple as just chasing after their markers, because when the ball shifted out wide, they actually had a second and arguably more important job, which was to double up on the Napoli wingers. So you see here Krunic is pressuring Zielinski, but as the ball starts to shift across the pitch, he actually drops his man-marking job for the sake of backing up his fullback, creating a 2-versus-1 against Kvaratskhelia. And Tonali on the left was doing these even more frequently, with Rafael Leao staying a little higher up in case of a turnover. That obviously created a pretty mammoth task for these midfielders, as they're nice and compact when the ball is over here, but then as Napoli move from side to side, they've got to shift all the way across and cover the other flank, and they're doing this tirelessly for 90 minutes. But creating these numerical superiorities, particularly out wide, was the absolute #1 priority for Milan in this game, especially to stop the supreme threat of Kvicha Kvaratskhelia. But remember, Milan were using a man-to-man setup here, so actually creating a 2-versus-1 situation comes down pure and simple to hard work, which required a big shift from the wingers as well, particularly Brahim Diaz on the right to help out against Kvaratskhelia. And Diaz here basically has 3 jobs. He's blocking the passing lane into the interior, he's also ready to press the fullback if it goes out to him, and then of course he's dropping in to double up on the winger. And you can see how important this was to Pioli based on the sheer speed his player reads and reacts to the pass down the line. It's pretty much instantaneous. And as a result, Kvaratskhelia was nullified most of the game. If he beats one player, he's got another one for company, and sometimes even 2 or 3 more. But the hard work for Diaz isn't finished once he drops to double up, because if there's then a backwards pass, it's crucial he steps up again to press the fullback. And that might seem like a small detail, but pressing the backwards passes meant that Milan didn't ever just get pinned in their own box. It was never a pure backs to the wall job. You could see the intent from Benacer, from Giroud and from Leao to step out and put the Napoli build-up under pressure. If they didn't do this, Milan would have ended up dropping deeper and deeper, have to defend a constant barrage of balls into the box, and that's a mistake a lot of teams make. So retaining intensity at the top of the defensive shape was crucial for Pioli, and he used his substitutions to ensure that intensity didn't drop. He replaced Giroud with Origi, and Brahim Diaz with Junior Messias, who immediately continued the tireless doubling up on Kvaratskhelia. The one name I haven't mentioned yet is of course Victor Osimhen, and that's because, like with Kvara, Milan were exceptionally concerned with keeping him quiet, which once again was about numerical superiority. And all game, Osimhen was actually marked by both Milan centre-backs, Tomori and Kjaer. Now, Osimhen might be the best target man in the world right now, so it's understandable for Napoli to look for him often, but he really does carry the entire burden of attacking the box, which allowed Milan's centre-backs to go 2 versus 1, one shielding the cross and the other man marking. And they even kept that up outside of the box, doubling up on him on the long balls forward, which are usually an important attacking option for Napoli. It's fair to say that both centre-backs were pretty outstanding in this game, but that was kind of the theme, because even though Milan tactically set up really well, they also won most of the 1v1 battles. Calabria was incredible against Kvaratskhelia on the odd occasion that he did get isolated. Lozano got very little change out of Teo Hernandez. The midfielders were winning their individual battles too, and you kind of need these big performances in these knockout games against the best teams. So credit to AC Milan, it's not the first time they've hurt Napoli this season, and they put together a game plan that absolutely played to their strengths. Though that's not to say Napoli were completely impotent. For one, I really liked how they used their underlapping fullbacks to exploit the man-to-man press. That was by far their best route to goal because nobody actually had the responsibility to track that runner, and had they put away any of the half chances they created, we'd probably be telling a completely different story here, but that's the cruel and beautiful nature of knockout football. Usually it comes down to which team takes their chances and minimises mistakes. One error from Ndombele and one exceptional run from Leao was enough to put the tie out of Napoli's reach, and once again, one of the better teams in the competition falls well before the final hurdle. So thanks for watching everyone, I hope you enjoyed. If you did, consider leaving a like, it really helps out. I'll be analysing the semi-finals and the Champions League final, so stay tuned for those. Otherwise, I hope you have a great day, and I'll see you soon. Take it easy.